Hello, I am so excited for you guys to meet today. A very special guest who I've actually been meaning to have on the podcast for a long time. But my sister, Courtney, who is the creator and founder of Bellabling Shop, and she was also in the Confident and Ambitious Mastermind this past year, saw some amazing results. So I am so excited for you all to hear her story, hear her journey. So welcome to the show, Court.
Hi, thank you.
So, give our audience just a little bit of background on you, what you do, how you got started, all the things.
Bella Bling Shop started off, I think, like, I don't 2017 maybe. And I started off making or attempting to make dog collars and matching earrings. And I realized that I was really bad at making dog collars, but I really enjoyed the idea of accessories. And as someone whose weight has fluctuated, like I just like the idea of having accessories that were fun and colorful. And I realized as my, I guess, business developed and my dreams sort of developed with that if I can design earrings with like the ability to print on demand now, that I could put my artwork onto clothing and accessories that could be available to people of all sizes. And so, as you guys probably know, Lindsay and I are crazy about Disney bounding and going to Disney. And so I really started designing stuff so that people could travel comfortably and have fun, colorful clothing and accessories that enhance their Disney vacation. So,
I'm muted. And that you wear all the time, not just at Disney,
right.
right? So, you have created
Yeah.
an entire line of clothing and accessories that's just everyday wear because that's what you wear at school as a teacher.
Right. Yeah. I literally wear my stuff like every single day. So, everything from like cute, comfortable tank tops to like dresses. I'm a teacher. So, clothing has to be like, you have to be able to move and also still be comfortable. And particularly like with COVID, I felt like prior to COVID, I wore like all black all the time just because it was so easy to have one color in your wardrobe and do um, one load of laundry. And then I realized that particularly during COVID, like everything, like the kids were so feeling low and everything was so down that I completely flipped a switch and I was like, I want the most color possible in my wardrobe while still being able to disinfect everything and be comfortable enough to teach. And so I sort of flipped a switch on my wardrobe, which sort of flipped a switch in my business and started designing really colorful, fun clothing that is breathable and workable and stretchy and still looks good for everyone's body type, which is good.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about how your business has evolved in the past year specifically. So, like around this time last year is when you decided to join the mastermind. So, walk us through, if you can even remember that far, what your business looked like when you decided to join and then what it looks like now.
Um, I think uh, my challenges have changed, which is a good thing because it means I've overcome some of the things that I thought were going to be an issue, and then we just sort of work through them.
Yeah.
Um,
Level new devil. That's what they say.
yeah, right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think things that were holding me back were um, like worry about like the this even being something people are interested in. Like, is it a waste of my time? Should I even be developing a website? Where should I focus my time? And I think um, by doing the membership and having those peers and women and you to like bounce my ideas off of and like talk through their businesses and their different challenges and goals and ideas, it's really helped me to um, instead of just being sort of lost, I've started having um, goals and like daily checklists almost, or checklists of things that I know I need to do Granted, as you know, I like designing the stuff, and that's what I really enjoy. So, it's now my challenge has evolved into, instead of flailing and not knowing what to do, it's knowing the things that I should be doing and like time slotting the particular times when I need to do those things.
I
I
love
think that's probably what my new challenges have become. And I think the goal is to take it one step at a time, right? If you beat yourself up and you're like, I'm not posting on Instagram like I should be, or I'm not um, reaching out to influencers like I should be, and I'm not doing this or that, or I should be doing that, like it just brings you down. So I think if you take that, and like how you've gotten me to invest my time into putting things in Trello and like the ideas and organizing all of that, I think if you do that, you can sort of put it into your buckets, like your goals of what you want to do and ideas, and prioritize that, and not beat yourself up as much and use your time more wisely, if that makes sense.
Okay, so you talked about your challenges, but tell us what your business, the things that you have changed. How has because you're my testimonial on the website that your business doubled from July to December alone last year. So like what sort of transformation did you see? How's your business any different than it was last year? Do you remember?
Honestly, I know the major changes were that I started like paying attention to algorithms and like Etsy SEOs and getting the right keywords in. And that really drove people to my business. And I think
So your Etsy grew.
so. Yes. Yeah. My Etsy
Have a
grew.
brand new website.
Correct. Yeah. I switched my website from Squarespace to Shopify.
You have an
Yep.
affiliate program that's
Yes.
automated, robust. People can sign up.
Right.
You
Yep.
have partnered with some pretty big name influencers that you hadn't this time last year. Do you want to share a little bit about that? You don't have to tell people's names, but
Yeah. I think building the relationships with people really helped to like, instead of just going out and being like, hey, can I give you my stuff and you like give me a positive review, like actually building those relationships, paying attention to when people are saying they're open to like sharing people's products, and yeah, and just um sending products with like a note that says test these out if you feel comfortable like sharing, or if you have any questions, let me know. That way it's not like I expect a positive review from you. And that way people are honest, and if you're comfortable in your product, like they should be
yeah.
they should be sharing it because they like your stuff. And so
So you have an
um
actual strategy around your affiliate program now, whereas
right,
before it was just kind of reaching out like, hey, will you share?
right, right. And I think the like some of the bloggers that I worked with, like bloggers are really way more open to sharing stuff than you would think. Like I thought I would have to like pay a fortune, or I don't know, jump through some crazy hoop, and it's really not the case. Like a lot of them are, I mean, they're just normal people, and
Yeah.
they want someone who appreciates them and reads their stuff and says like that you actually know what they are about, which is
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah, that's really important with pitching. I've learned is like, don't go in, or even when people message me about getting on my podcast. I have someone coming on my podcast soon, and she's like, I can give a speech on this, is this. And I'm like, you've clearly never listened to my podcast, because that's
Right.
not what people come
Yeah.
on my podcast to do. We have a conversation. So it's like, I recommend you listen to my podcast and then let's follow back up, you know? So yeah,
Right.
be human about it. I like that.
Yeah.
So what is, if you can remember, why did you decide to join the masterminds last year? Was there something in your business? Was it something that you had heard about? Like what was going through your mind when you were like, yeah, I'm going to do it?
I think the thing was I felt like I was just sort of spinning my wheels, if that makes sense. Like I was doing things that I felt were productive, but I wasn't moving forward.
Mm.
And I think that was probably what made me think like maybe maybe doing this change could help to actually get me moving forward a little bit,
Mhm.
instead of just doing stuff for the sake of doing stuff, you
Yeah.
know?
Like a
Um,
more organized, again, like method or system to the madness when
right,
you're going down to, yeah, do your work. Um,
right.
yeah, those specific strategies too. And then focusing on one thing at a time, I think was something big with watching you this
Yeah.
year was like you said, you have so many ideas and you love the creation piece. And I find that a lot with entrepreneurs, myself included, is I'm like, I love creating the stuff, but then the people who succeed take it to the other level, like the next level, and they actually get serious about like strategizing
Mhm.
one thing on focus before you add on something else now. Like, because when I was talking about you increased your Etsy sales, you got your new website, all those things, you didn't do them all at once, right?
Right. Yeah. And I think for me, particularly since I have the artistic side, but I also have like the mathy, nerdy side, right? Um, Automating the things that I know like, I can say I'm going to do them and I can pretend like I'm going to do them, but it's going to take 90% of my energy to do those well.
Mm,
Whereas if I can automate those things and have at least something happening in that area, then I can focus my time on other things that I'll actually like attempt to do well, and it won't take 90% of my energy.
yeah.
So like finding a program that could handle my affiliates and
Mhm.
getting that set up, and finding a good program. And even though it took a ton of time, like to switch over my website to avoid this and this issue that was taking a ton of my time, and finding a program that like automates my like social media posts, because I hate posting on social media, but it's a huge aspect of it. And
Yep.
I'd rather have something automated doing those things than not doing anything with them at all,
Yeah.
if that
Yeah.
makes
Those
sense.
systems. Yeah. And I think it's important to note that you're a projector in human design, which is what I am as well. So if you are familiar with human design, you're listening, projectors usually like to work in small chunks of time and spend all their energy on that. And then you need to like recharge doing other things. So it's especially important, I think, for projectors to have those systems, like you mentioned, so that you are able to spend the time and energy that you do have on the stuff that's really important, driving your business forward, which is what you ended up doing
Right. Yeah.
this year. Okay, what's your biggest takeaway from the mastermind? Like what was your biggest, either like an aha or like I'm so glad I did this because I learned XYZ about myself and my business, whatever.
Um, can I say like two parts to that,
Yeah.
I guess?
Yeah.
Okay. So like the first thing that I think of is working with a group of people that you can that are all like have goals and are in your same, it's not even, they weren't even in my same like area. None of them were like designing Etsy stuff and working on that kind of thing, but just people that have similar interests and goals and ambitions that you can like bounce ideas off of and talk through things was really helpful to me, because I think a lot of times you just feel like you're floating on
Mhm.
your own and you're on your own island and there's no one there to help you.
Yep.
Um, and that was really helpful. I think the other big takeaway was having like prioritizing things and taking the ideas from talking to those people and talking to you, and actually having like the accountability
Mm.
and um map to get from A to B to C. And it makes it less overwhelming, I think, by having that. And even now I realize there's like 5 things that I really should work on today, but I should really do this next step because that's the one that's most important in the game plan of things. And I
Mm.
think that really helped me, was just getting those organized, if
Yeah.
that makes.
Your income producing activities and then prioritizing them, being able
Yeah.
to do that. Yeah. I agree with the accountability. That's why I am always in a mastermind because I know I don't want to show up at that call saying I didn't do the thing I said I was going to do. Or, even if you have the same challenge multiple times come up, which I think is normal in entrepreneurship, you want to feel like you're progressing, right? You don't want to be like, I'm here to complain about this again, but yet I did nothing.
Right.
Like that
Yeah.
accountability is,
Yeah. And I think that's sort of like the worst feeling, right? Is when you go into the thing and you're like, yeah, I have the same issues as last week because I didn't do anything.
yeah,
Like,
which happens. I mean,
yeah,
life happens and it comes up, but it's less likely, I feel like, to come up multiple times and over again when you're paying for that like investment to show up.
but it's also like as soon as you're done with the meeting, like I feel like I'm like motivated and I'm ready to get started right then because
Yeah.
I'm feeling the energy and I think
Yeah,
that
I
really
do remember
helps.
you like after every call, you'd be like, "No, I'm working. Like, leave me alone." I'm like in my
Yeah, no, just leave me alone.
yeah, which
Yeah.
is so funny because I'm the opposite. I'm like, okay, I need to shut down, go through all this in my head, and then I'll start tomorrow. So yeah, I think
Mm-mm.
everyone has a little different like way, but
Yeah.
yeah, it gets you like pumped up to work for sure. Okay, a couple more questions, and you kind of already touched on this. Do you have a part of the mastermind that was your favorite?
Um, Good question.
So calls, the course, um, the blueprint, like one-on-one.
Um, I was gonna honestly like the calls.
Yeah.
Because you know me, like with the I'm like I like interacting with people when I'm doing
Mhm.
things. And so even when it comes to like reading things, like I listen to audiobooks. I'm not like if I have to read it, I'm gonna probably text to audio it and that way I can listen through it. So
Mhm.
I think just having the calls and um bouncing ideas and like just that engagement with other people who are driven, I think was really helpful.
Yeah, the people in the
Yeah.
room make a huge difference for sure.
Yeah. It really does.
Okay. I know you're coming to the Disney retreat, obviously, which you get the VIP day for because you're in the mastermind. It's included for everyone. And you've done all of my retreats. You've been at all of them since the
True.
beginning of time. You even came to the Color Street ones, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've literally
Yep.
been to all of them. Okay. So
Yep.
would you share why you think retreats are important and what you're looking forward to most at our retreats this year?
Um, Retreats are really good for like recentering yourself and your business and the people around you. Like it's just really good to be around other positive people who have ambitions and who are there to enjoy themselves, but also like just even the conversations that you have. Like my favorite thing at our retreats and when we do the Florida one is like pool time. I'm crazy about the pool, but honestly, it's not just because I love the pool. Like I can get a pool in Ohio and I would be okay. It's because like particularly those women, like when we have pool time, they share their best ideas and thoughts and dreams and ambitions. Like because they've let their guard down and they're relaxing and they're enjoying themselves and they talk about like the coolest things that I'm like, oh my gosh, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
So like it's less businessy in certain moments. And I think sometimes when you're just enjoying yourself and you let your guard down, that's when you get the best thoughts and ideas from other people and build those relationships with other people who are like-minded because like after our retreats every single time like there's this core group of women that are just like they support you no matter what, which is fantastic. Like a lot of us fly solo and are floating around and don't have that group to back them, I think.
Yeah.
And we really need that.
Yeah, I love that too. Yeah, I like the pool time. I'm the same. I really love the strategy and like the more organized parts of the retreat, but I feel like the side conversations and like the more informal stuff like that is sometimes where you
It's
get
the
like
best stuff.
yeah, like the good juice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to pool time,
Yep.
VIP night, and then I feel like we're gonna be able to get that same vibe because we're going to Epcot and we'll be like walking around the world and like a
Yeah.
little bit more chill of a day than at Magic Kingdom, I feel like. So I'm excited for that this year too when we do Disney.
Yeah. The other thing I really like about retreats is like there's a good balance between that. Like you're good at setting up things that people really need for their business and they might not necessarily realize they need it. And so like um when you do like your branding sessions, and people like might come into it and they're like, I don't think I need this. And then they're sitting there and they're like, oh, I really should
I hear
reconsider
you.
that.
Yeah.
And like even when we do like photos and do like some brand photography, people are always like, oh, I don't know if I need these. And then you see those photos like up on their website for the next 2 years because they really needed some decent brand photos. And like there's certain things that I think people don't realize they need
Mhm.
that that they get from the retreat that actually really helps them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree with that. So I'm really looking forward to our one in the fall. And then new this year for the mastermind is we're doing a local retreat here in the Ohio area. I say area because sometimes we do a retreat in Northern Kentucky, which is right over the border from Ohio at this really amazing house. So that's not out of the question either. But this area for just the mastermind members. So I'm pretty excited about that in the spring as well. Okay, we talked about retreats. So if someone's listening to this and on the fence about joining the mastermind, what would you tell them?
Oh, I would tell them that things are what you put into them. So um, if you're not willing to put in the time and the like effort and stuff like that, like the mastermind sort of helps you get over that gap and like helps you to put more into it so that you get more out of it. Like you get more return on what you're doing. And so I think you sort of have to take that leap of faith and join it and try it out and go all in when you do it so that that way you really get like a good return on what you're doing. And I think it's a good way to take that first step and get bigger return on what you're investing your time and money into.
Yeah, I like that. Like you get out of it what you put in it.
But you get it back like tenfold. So like I think that's the key to a mastermind versus what like if you just did your regular stuff without that, like your return on what you're putting in is way more when you're in a mastermind than what it is if you're just flying solo. So
I would agree. Or trying to do like a course or something like that.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I just have been really excited every time you're like, oh my gosh, this is how many sales I got today. And you're just like scrolling through your sales. And
Yeah.
it's nice when you're finally seeing like the results pay off for what you're in for sure.
Yeah.
So
I feel that.
for you,
Yeah.
tell everyone where they can connect with you, where they can shop with you, if they're interested in being an affiliate. How does that work? Tell us all the things.
Okay. So everything as far as like affiliates and like purchasing, you can find all of that on Bellabling shop. And hopefully if I've set up my website right, it'll all navigate right. If not,
Check out the
message me
new,
and let me
yeah,
know.
check out the new site.
Yeah. So bellablingshop.com. And you can find me on Instagram and Facebook as Bellabling Shop. And then I'm also on Etsy as Bellabling by Courtnay because Bellabling Shop was taken years ago and they won't let you reuse stuff. So Bellabling by Courtnay, Courtnay, is what my Etsy is. And it's really easy to sign up for my affiliates on my website. I think, hopefully, I've set it up right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I will be sure to link everything in the show notes. And then while we are on here as well, I also want to do a shameless plug. Courtnay and I started a nonprofit this year called Kathy's Magical Memories. You might have seen us talk about it on our social media. If you follow us, hopefully you do. That's something else that we got started, and it is a nonprofit to take kids who have lost a loved one, a parent or a guardian, and bring them to Disney World for a Disney vacation with their remaining family to start the healing process. So it's something that is very near to our heart because Kathy was our mom who passed away from breast cancer in 2015. So if you are interested in donating, becoming a monthly donor, even just volunteering to help us get the message out, feel free to send us a message, either one of us two, and we will let you know how you can support that cause. All right, Court. Thank you so much for your time, for sharing
Thank
your
you.
story, and we will talk soon. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.